Hi, Liddell here from Australia. I'm going to show you this morning how to make paper beads. They're very easy and you can make them look quite pretty. I've got a necklace, some earrings, a bracelet, and these are the beads that I've created to make my necklaces. Okay, first up I have made some beads here. These are in the state of drying. There's all sorts of longer ones that I've created. There's cone shaped ones that I've created. You can colour them, and here's some other cone shaped ones just made out of a book page, and I'm going to show you how to do them. You're going to need something to stand them up in because they're wet with glue. So I've just got a toothpick and I've just stood them in a styrofoam block out of some packaging, and that works really well. You're going to need some toothpicks, some book pages just out of an old novel, and some white glue. I'm using Craft & Hobby PVA glue today, but any white glue will be fine. You'll need some, I just used some nail polish for colouring mine. You can use shimmers or mists, anything that colours. And then at the end, to make them glossy, I've just gone over them with some dimensional fluid, and that makes them glossy. So even though this will act as a sealer, they still are made out of paper, so I would keep them away from water. Okay, now with this one I've just cut a triangle, a long triangle, and this is the height of the book page. So you start at the long end on your toothpick and just wind, poke that bit in and just wind, sort of keeping it semi-centered, and you can just wind it, wind it, wind it. And once it gets to about 2 inches from the end, then I just put a line of the glue, not even nearly to the end. You probably don't need it so much because it, as you can see, it bunches up and it will cover the tip. Now I just keep going around and cover the tip with what's left over on my finger, and so you can see that it's coated with a layer, and then you just slide it off and put it on a new toothpick so that it's not going to glue onto the toothpick, and then you just stick it into the styrofoam. The same with the longer piece. You can cut off as much as you want the length of your bead to be. So of course you can use longer strips. You can glue strips to the end of each other to make them longer, and the way to get around a bead is to glue the strips together and cut a very, very long graduated triangle. So I'm just doing it easy here. I'm not going too fancy until I get good at making these. With these even ones, you just make sure the ends are even. You can see there, just make sure the ends are nice and even as you wind. You can straighten it a bit once you've finished gluing, because the centre, it's not glued, so you'll be able to push the centre in. With this one, I just go along the top, give it a quick coverage. Glue will come out a little bit, but it'll be glued securely. and just keep covering it with the glue that's left on your finger, and that will set. Just get the glue off your fingers a bit. That'll come off just by rubbing your fingers together. It makes a bit of a mess, but it'll come off just fine. And the way to straighten it up is just to push on either end, and then the middle goes in. You can see in the middle there. Pop it on another toothpick to dry and set it into your polystyrene. Now I'll show you one more. This one's a thinner strip. So your size of your papers, the width of your papers will determine how big your bead will end up. You just wind it firmly. Put a tiny bit of glue, and then you just wind it, and keep winding it over the top of your glue covered finger, and that will be enough to seal the bead. I would move it off there. You can see there's a tiny little bit sticking out from the edge. Just get it and push it in a bit. Put it onto another toothpick, and that will come off easily when it's dry. Now, the way to colour it is, it's a bit messy and you might have to clean your fingers after, but I've just used nail polish on some of these ones. Depending on how deep you want the colour, you might need to do 2 coats or more. I was happy with the words showing through, so I didn't want it too dark. So that's the colour of my bead. Just sit it, slide it up the other end maybe, wipe the nail polish off. You don't want it sticking to the toothpick. Now these are ready to string on to wire, string, thread, anything you want. You can mix them with the other beads. Like I said, I've made little ones with wire that I've added 2 beads either side to make it into one strand that you can join together with jump rings, or however you would like to join it together. And like I said, this is what I've created. A lovely little set to give away as a gift or to keep for yourself. And it's made out of some recycled material. Can't get better than that. Thanks for watching. Bye.